And the answer to those 4 questions are like the 4 sides to a picture frame. What you believe about origin and meaning and morality and destiny, they all have to cohere to each other. They have to fit together. Now, if that didn't happen with your picture frame, it'd be a broken picture frame. And if that doesn't happen with your worldview, then it's a broken worldview.
Hey, if you can believe it, it has been 100 videos since I used this picture frame to talk about worldview. And I'm super excited today. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look over a bunch of my old videos, gonna react to them, tell you what I was thinking, why I was making them, and then we're gonna talk about where TruthSNACK is going moving forward after 100 videos. I can't even believe that. Okay, let's jump right in.
Did you choose to watch this video, or was it your destiny? Hey, I'm Matt. This is TruthSNACK, a channel that's designed to help you generate meaningful conversations with those you love. Today, we're talking about destiny. And the first and obvious question is whether or not you actually have a destiny. That's right, do regular people have destinies, or is it reserved just for the main characters in epic movies and books?
Okay, I gotta say, that people normally say your first videos are your worst videos, but this video is actually pretty good. Like, I'm actually pretty proud of that intro. It felt pretty clean and good. I have some worse videos for sure than this. We'll talk about that in a sec, but I'm pretty proud of that intro.
So if you and I have destinies, it's because there are forces outside of ourselves that are pushing us towards an end. Well,
okay, 2 comments. 1, I don't use that setup anymore, partially because I had to literally rearrange my living room to get my lamp and my plant and those little bookshelves there. Like, it just became way too much work every week to rearrange my living room. The second thing is that the lighting in that was so hard because I was completely dependent on natural light. And so I had to film at a certain time of day to make sure that enough light was coming through. If there was overcast, sometimes I'd have to wait till the next day. Anyway, all that to say, I'm really thankful that I have some lights now so that even when the light outside isn't great, I can still set up and supplement that. I can tell it's so unnatural. I'm using a teleprompter, and one from like early on. And so I'm trying to move my hands, but I'm really just staring at the prompter. And if you watch my eyes, I don't blink very much, which is kind of unsettling. But also you can see my eyes like twitch every once in a while as they're like jumping from line to line. So watch that as we talk, as we see more of the episode.
when we observe our universe, it's fine-tuned for the possibility of life. This fine-tuning includes dozens of constants like gravity, the electromagnetic force, the speed of light, as well as seemingly arbitrary quantities like the amount of entropy at the beginning of the universe. Imagine these constants and quantities are set using...
Are you bored yet? This is so boring. I'm just like, because I have the teleprompter, I just feel like confident that I can say these really difficult, important, fundamental quantities and constants, and so because I feel confident, I'm not thinking about what makes a video exciting anymore. I'm thinking about redoing some of the Argument for God episodes and making them a little simpler, breaking it down just to like kind of the main points of the argument and making it like 2 or 3 minutes again, rather than the longer thing with the teleprompter where I can read what I'm saying and trying to add inflection.
Sometimes when people find out I'm a Christian, they get a concerned look on their face and ask, "You don't interpret the Bible literally, do you?"
That still happens like all the time.
Well, the term literally isn't just misused by teenagers. It's also a really confusing term when it comes to interpretation. In this video, I'm covering 4 tips for interpreting the Bible. They're going to literally blow your mind, so stick around.
I think I'm still using a teleprompter, but I've gotten a lot better at it and I'm a lot more natural.
Before we dive in, we have to grasp a key concept. The meaning of the Bible is something that's discovered, not decided. It's not up to you to make the Bible mean something. The text already has a meaning. So when the Bible says the trees of the field clap their hands, the trees don't have literal hands to clap. And when Jesus said, "I am the vine and you are the branches," he didn't mean that he was a literal vine.
I think this is like the time when I started figuring out, oh, this is what a YouTube video is supposed to be. It's supposed to be upbeat and interesting, and you're supposed to actually show them something rather than just like talk at a camera. No one wants to just be talked at.
It was written with them in mind, intentionally in a way that they could understand. So taking off your worldview glasses and understanding the text through their eyes is crucially important. Which leads me to my last tip.
While I was filming this, I was definitely thinking that I was pretty smooth for what I had just done. So cheesy. I mean, I think I'm making a good point. It's a little cheesy, but you know what? Whatever. Life is a little cheesy. That's okay.
Every year around Christmas, I see memes like this that say that Jesus is just a retelling of the ancient myth of Horus. And when you boil it down, what's really being said is that the life of Jesus, including his birth, which is what we celebrate at Christmas, is a total ripoff of ancient myths. And if that's true, that's a knockout punch against Christianity. I mean, there's no point in being a Christian or celebrating Christmas if Jesus Christ never existed, right?
Makes sense
My
to me.
inner Christmas fanatic is dying a little. Sorry, buddy. Christmas might be canceled this year. But the first thing that pops into my mind is that Jesus of Nazareth is believed by the majority of scholars, even skeptical scholars, to have been a real historical figure. Now, I know where to find the story of Jesus' life, but I don't know where to read the primary text on Horus, and online searches were not very helpful. So rather than just kind of giving up or believing whatever it is I want to believe, I decided I was actually going to go to the library. So we're here. Let's get in there and try to sort this thing out.
It's actually a lot more of the style that I want to do with TruthSNACK a lot more regularly. So what makes this special is that when I started this video, as in when I started filming the video, I didn't know the answer. So I sincerely filmed that first part, and then the next day I actually went to the library and filmed the walk and talk. TruthSNACK isn't so much about me just telling you what the answer is or what I think. I want it to be more of an investigative channel where you guys ask questions and contribute and we work on things together. I'm not sure how to figure that out yet, whether that's comment sections or you guys leaving digital voicemails for me. Okay, enough of a rant, but this video is special. Probably my favorite video.
Okay, now, I had a mentor who once taught me that when something rubs you the wrong way or something makes you angry, wait 24 hours to respond to it. We're gonna call that the 24-hour rule. If you can wait 24 hours to respond to something that rubbed you the wrong way, then you should. You can go away, you can write your thoughts. You can journal. If you believe in God, you can pray and ask for insight. You can talk to someone safe in private and get them to reflect your thoughts and feelings back to you.
Something that's different about this episode is that I didn't script this at all. I just sat down and just talked to the camera, and I had never done that up to this point, but it worked really well, actually. I really enjoyed it, and I like how kind of snarky I am with the glowy outside and telling people to just calm down. I do think that any illustration we use for the Trinity will eventually break down because nothing can quite capture who God is, but it breaks down into either tritheism, that there are three gods, which is not what the Bible teaches, or it breaks down into what's called modalism, which is that there's just one person who's God and he puts on different masks at different times. And that's not what the Bible teaches either. You know, sometimes people say that the longer you talk about the Trinity, the more likely it is you're gonna say something heretical. So that leads me to a normal and natural question, which is that if the Trinity is so confusing and so hard to understand, why do we believe it at all? It actually feels really good to see an episode like this. I think the audio's good, the lighting's good. I thought the hook was good. You might notice actually in my more recent episodes, I kind of stopped using my intro. I think that having an intro with the cookies and the thing, and it made me feel so official. But now I'm it's just 6 seconds in a video that frankly people don't need. I made it because it was about me, because I wanted to feel like a cool YouTube channel. But now I don't really use it. But when I see this whole video with the visuals and the noises and the things I'm trying to incorporate, still has work to do. I still have work to do to keep upping my game. But man, I see this recent episode, I'm looks pretty good. I'm kind of proud of it, actually. I have to say, it feels like an awesome accomplishment. It's like looking back on old papers from college, but actually being proud of them. Because sometimes I look back on papers from college and I'm not proud of them. But what I wanted to do at the end of this video is to talk about how I want TruthSNACK to grow in some specific ways. And I don't mean grow in popularity or grow numerically. I mean how I want the content to grow. I want to tell people the origin story of TruthSNACK. I want to talk more not just in passing that like, oh yeah, I went through a time of struggling, but I want to actually have people understand that that was a significant time of my life when I was sincerely doubting all of Christianity and I was ready to leave Christianity. But there was a process of exploring God and going through apologetics and answering tough questions that sincerely brought me from doubt to confidence in Christ. And so I want to be a little more transparent about that journey and let people know that if you're watching TruthSNACK, this is your home. That's what I want TruthSNACK to be. That's like what touches my heart the most, is that I want it to be a home for people who are doubting, but also helping people who have traveled through doubt and want to think deeply about how all of their life works together in a coherent way. So as much as this is kind of cheesy and from the first episode, our worldviews need to be coherent. And that's why I've spent 100 videos trying to talk about how Christianity is coherent and it actually can make sense of the world around us. I'm excited and motivated to keep making weekly content. Every Tuesday you can find a new video, maybe even 100 more videos. Maybe. Oh my goodness. That would blow my mind even more. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week.